Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button and keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Friday, October 20th. We're going to take a look at NVTA today. So NVTA is now pushed down, over 9% today, and is situated well under the lowest levels that we have on the chart. And so I actually think, and I don't often think this, but I actually think the cleanest thing to do is just get rid of all of these levels and put in one level here, because you see how many times it touched this floor. Right there at 60 cents. So 60 cents right now is the critical level. And also put in then a trend line. Actually going to put it in as a ray. Let me see how this looks. That looks about right to me. That may even stretch back if we wanted to. I mean, there's not really a huge advantage to doing that, but just to point out, like, this has been in play for a while. It's a little bit more of a conservative placement for that trend line, so I'll maybe put it there for now, and in a sense, if NVTA does start to recover, sort of make it prove itself more than more than this. For example, if you had sort of jumped the gun on this day and seen it break the downtrend resistance, you could have really been fooled, and boy would have that been painful, because if you took it up here in, say, the 80s, obviously now it's in the 50s. So those are the levels that I think are important, or I guess level and trend line that I think are important. Are two situated there? Oh, okay. It looked as though there was a double line there to me for whatever reason, but okay, let's just place that back there. Yeah, so pretty clear. It looks to me, I don't know if this is for sure what happened, but it looks to me like it just did that thing that I talk about sometimes, which is it went to the well too many times. In other words, it kept coming down here and expecting buyers to show up, and they did for a long time, and sometimes in pretty solid volume. But eventually, hey folks, just so you know, you can get these videos early and ad-free. If you click on the description below and become a member, you can make that happen, and I really appreciate the support. Thanks a lot. Enjoy the rest of the video. Buyers just didn't show up at that level anymore because there wasn't any payoff. It was continuing to put in generally lower highs and then just returning to that area and expecting buyers to show up again. And eventually they just didn't. And then, you get a pretty solid, strong down day right through that level where the buyers didn't show up. And then the price of the stock was just looking all day basically to say, okay, so where are the buyers now if they're no longer at 60? So that's the situation that we're in at the moment. The other thing that I would look at is the EMAs. And luckily, if we want to think of it like this, at least the price isn't super far away from the 8 EMA. So it does have the opportunity sooner than later to come back and retest the 8 EMA. And, maybe it can get some price action through there and even come up to then test the 21. And at that point, maybe it's also testing against the downtrend resistance. So it's not super far from the 8. So that can also be sort of a guiding principle as we are sort of in this no man's land of I can't even say little price action, just on the daily chart, no price action, right? There's nothing else down here. So, so that's the situation on the Webull chart. Now on the think or swim side of things, I was going to say you see the EMA cloud way up here, but I mean, that's so irrelevant at this point. It's stretched so far from that. Now, interestingly enough, it pushed outside of the lower bound of the channel here, reverted, did the thing we always expect, which is it tested the mid-range of the channel, found clear resistance there, and has continued to bleed down ever since. But it is now putting in 6 daily candles of triggering on the TTM squeeze indicator. And it had been receding in bearish momentum up until today. So I'm interested to see if this is sort of a hiccup candle, or if this starts to fire in the days ahead, and where that fire takes us, meaning a big push up, a big push down, does it result in a big movement in one direction or the other, which is the point of watching the TTM squeeze indicators. You're looking for it to fire and for a big move to result from that. Now, sometimes it does fire and a big move doesn't come. That can happen. It's not a crystal ball. It's not a 100% thing. No indicator is. Keep that in mind. Things can always sort of misread, misfire, if you will. So yeah, just don't let anything fool you into thinking it's 100%. But it is in an interesting position with this relatively strong move down while it's still triggering, and potentially, we'll really have to see how like Monday, Tuesday kick off. Potentially picking back up on the bearish momentum when it didn't even fully recede on the previous bearish momentum down to the baseline of the histogram. Obviously it didn't disappear into nothing, aka baseline. It picked right back up. So, I would tend to say that's not a great sign for the bulls, but this does have the potential to be quite an erratic stock. And so sometimes those erratic stocks can just do things that you don't really see coming. So, a typical setup may not play out exactly how you would anticipate it to based on every other stock or the majority of other stocks. All right, folks, I hope that you had a good trading week and that you enjoy your weekend. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.